Just a reminder, today's conference is being recorded.
Okay, so again, hello everybody for this XStepCafe. Maybe for the folks from BD who have joined in a large number, if you'd like to say some words about your company or something, and what is interested. What are you interested in the cafe here? Maybe if you want to.
Hi, this is Raghu.
Yes.
I work for IBM. Today I'm interested in the XStep's, the baddie valuation generation and discarding PA sheet from the process order itself, and then the XStep's for the external systems.
Okay. Good. So I have picked up one of your requests and prepared some things and checked some things. So I'll plan to show the discarding of the PR sheet from process order, which has been introduced from EHP3 on. So I can show that.
Actually, discarding the control recipes from the process order that have been sent to the external system. Already, this is from the enhancement pack 4. I checked it. The discarding PA sheet from the process order is working, but we need to develop or write a program to discard the control recipe from the process order that has been sent to the external system.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's general an issue or a problem that occurs very often. Of course, if you send something to an external system, normally you would expect that the external system then takes care of rejecting a control recipe or discarding it. Right? So what you have in mind is to sort of automate this from the ERP. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So, and of course, there's no general answer to this question because every external system is a little bit different. So, I don't know. So, what is your? Yes.
My exact question is, I am looking through enhancement pack 4 for discard PA sheet in the process order. In that, I
it's
found
3 actually. It's not 4.
Oh, it's 3?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And the final one is for control recipe destination of categories 2 and 3. We can use baddie work order underscore PA sheet in the enhancement.
Oh, yeah, the body. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The ES work order and the PA sheet to implement the functionality. But I checked it in the program. It's blank. I guess we need to develop from the scratch.
Yeah, not for everybody. We deliver sample programming, so that's true.
Okay.
So you need to do something there. You need some assistance there, or?
Yeah. Actually, I need any template or some logic ideas to develop that program. What is your suggestion? It's to your discarding control recipe from the process order is good, or discarding from with the external system and send a message to the process order?
I would recommend the latter one because you still you need to make sure that also the external system does not do anything with that control recipe. So because if you just cancel that from the process order, so you assume that's all okay, but maybe the machine, the PLC down there already takes up the control recipe and works with it. So then you have not a consistent situation. So I would really recommend to use that body and trigger something which notifies the external system to send that process message. So to stop whatever it's doing and send the process message to discard that control recipe.
this is a message to send the external system to discard, but the message, the discard message should be coming from the external system to process order.
Sure,
right?
That's the normal PI-PCS interface way.
Oh, okay. What kind of messages do you recommend to send the external system?
There's only one. It's the standard process message, which is called PI_CRST.
Yeah, okay. That is coming from the external system to process order, right?
Exactly.
But basically, what is the functionality they are in mind to develop within this framework, the work order _ the PA sheet?
First of all, maybe I'll go through the presentation mode, and then I can also show something to the others. So let's share my computer screen. Can you see the R3?
Yeah.
Screen? Great. So maybe first of all I'd like to show this, and then we can further discuss it so that the others also see what we're talking about. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so once again, that is a functionality which has been introduced in Enhancement Pack 3, along with some other enhancements in the PI sheet area, which is the possibility to discard or cancel a PI sheet from within the process order. So just a small example. I've got this process order, which in this case runs with process instructions. See it here, and I'll release that one here. Save it. I'll send the control recipe. Now there are basically two different scenarios. So first of all, you haven't worked on the PI sheet yet, so you just go into the process order, and then if you're not using XSteps, you go to the operations, you select one of the operations, because you could have different PI sheets due to different control recipe destinations here. And then there's in operations here a new function which is called discard PI sheet. So you do that, it asks you again, and you say yes, and here you go. And then you see a process message here which is created, and that's exactly the one I mentioned to you, Raghu. CRST, which is has to be, of course, to be sent. So, and then the PI sheet is already terminated, and you will, for example, if I go back to the control recipe monitor, you see it's discarded here. Then the next scenario, of course, is if you have worked on the PI sheet. So just doing a new process order based on that one as well. Okay, and doing the same here. But am I too quick, by the way? I don't know how fast the speed is here. And when I'm clicking very fast, maybe you have to tell me if that is...
Yes, very good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
I'll send that as well. And now I'm looking for my PI sheet. Here we go. Then I've got, well, maybe I'll just create a comment or something. Go back, so that means I have this in status in process. And then go to the order again and do the same thing here. So it's working both ways, right? So also here you get that process message. Of course, the comment is also there. in this case, this is terminated. So that's a different state. The PI sheet was already worked on.
Do you have to do it for every control destination separately?
I haven't checked it. Maybe it's sufficient to just select all operations and then do this for all.
Because this functionality is working today if you are selecting CO57 and send manually PI?
Yes.
Okay.
That's of course true. You could also before you could just create that process message manually, but this function we introduced just for the ease of use. So because you had to really, enter all these characteristics, and now you can just do it from the process order. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do another one with XSteps. So there's a little bit different. So that's now a recipe with XSteps, as you can see here, and I'll do the same thing. Control recipe generated. Okay. Let's just do that like this. Here we go. Okay. And now I have to go not to the operations but to the XStep area here. Select the root node which I want to discard or cancel, because you can have multiple roots here if you want, and then here you can you find this new entry here which is called discard work instructions PI sheet. You do that, you get a new window where you also see all these different items, and you can discard the entry. So, for example, if you have in that tree multiple PI sheets, for example, then you can select those that you want to discard. Okay. Successful. Save this and have a look at the process message monitor. Here we go. Now you see, when I refresh this, again that one has been terminated. In principle, this should also work with PI sheets that are worked on with XSteps, but unfortunately, currently there's a bug, so it doesn't work. That doesn't let me cancel this when you work on the PI sheet, but it should work the same way. That's what I just checked with development. Okay, so that's this discard functionality, and of course that's fairly easy and simple if you're only handling the PI sheet stuff, also inside ERP. But as Raghu already mentioned, these things become a little bit more complex when you send external systems control recipes. But as you also said, there's a body available which you can program in and do whatever you like. So because we decided to do that this way because every external system is different. So you might so you need to react on the destination maybe to do this differently. It's just all about sending a signal to an external system, for example, to create that process message and send it over the PI-PCS interface.
Arne?
Yes.
You said you send a signal to the external system, right? That what kind of the interface is that?
Well, that can be different. Yeah, for example, you could,
that is the one we need to develop in the body, right?
Yes, exactly. So you could, if that system accepts HTTP requests or web service requests, maybe you could do a request there, for example. That should be possible from inside ERP. So one example would be if you have a middleware like MRI, you could do that, send call a function in MRI with the parameters, and then that middleware then takes care of notifying the other external system to do whatever.
Yeah, here we are notifying the MII to discard the PA system from the external system and send back the message PA CRSC, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes,
that'll be the way I would see it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
So, any other questions on this particularly, or?
Ornay?
Yes.
I'm again the program that developed for discard PA sheet. That program we cannot take it as a template, right? There's
no template.
No connection, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Maybe to the people from BD.
Yeah.
Do you have any? One of you sent a mail to me with some questions beforehand, which I answered already a little bit. So maybe you want to share these questions to the audience, and then we can also discuss the answers if you want.
Okay. Good morning, Arnie. This is Riyad Nakuzi. I'm the one that sent you the information. And if you have responded, I have not received your response yet.
Okay, let's hold on. You see my Outlook?
Not yet.
Okay, great, because you're not supposed to see it. I just switched it to another screen.
Okay.
So.
I mean, I can give the.
I'll just copy it and or move it. You can see the mail here.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so these are the questions. You don't mind if I reveal these questions?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I mean, go ahead.
Okay, so maybe we can just online discuss it here. So first question you had was about what's basically the difference between the PI sheets and the EWI. So can you develop module standard XSteps that serve for both? You call it production execution strategy, the production types, correct?
Yes, correct.
So, and the answer is, in principle, the standard XSteps are really agnostic to whether you use it in a PI sheet or in a work instruction. However, there are some elements that are different. So, maybe, first of all, if you just use an input field, output field, and text instructions, something like that, parameters, that should really work fine. If you use certain valuations or generations that do not make sense in the context of PI sheet or production order-based EWI, then of course you might have an issue. For example, if you have a standard XStep with a generation scope for documents which you use in the PP context, there in the production order you have documents and you can do the generation on these documents. If you then use that standard XStep in the context of PPPI, then you won't get a generation, because even if in the bill of material you have maintained documents, the process order does not support this. So it does not have documents, for example. So there are some things that might not work here.
Okay. So by attaching documents to the bill of material header, those are available for the EWI sheet, but they're not available for the PI sheet.
So, simply because the process order does not support documents.
Okay, I am aware of that. Yes.
And on the other hand, there might be some things that are not yet available for EWI. And so, for example, you have the tool section in the production order. we don't offer a generation scope for that. So you need to do it on your own. So you need to do the body and do your own generation scope for things like that if they don't exist.
When you reference tools, are you referring to the production resource tool?
Yes.
Okay.
Like equipment, for example, or something.
Yes. Okay.
And there might be other things. So we have not added a lot of specifically PP generation scopes or variation symbols. Some we have, but not very extensively.
Okay.
You might need to do something there.
Okay.
So is that enough for this question, or?
Let me ask a couple more questions. So aside from the process manufacturing specific functionality and some of the nuances that are relevant to discrete and not relevant to process, everything else outside those limitations are really supported through the EWI.
It's really the same technology. It has a different look and feel, though. So there's another style sheet which is used for the EWI, but that should be So in essence, that should be the same. So maybe due of the other style sheet, there might be differences. Maybe also a little bit in functionality point of view. Some icons might not be there, but you need to check. Maybe if you miss something. You can maybe also raise a message for that if you want. Okay.
All right.
So next question?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the question was, what are the steps needed to activate EWIs given that our system is HP3? So you already mentioned something here. You mentioned also this business function, which is not necessary for the EWI. That's the shift report notification. Of course, it makes sense to use that, but it's not tightly connected to EWI.
Okay.
So, not connected at all, basically. We have created a demo in the ASAC conference where we have created a new process message destination which sends the information of the comments to a shift notification, for example. So that is an integration point you would have there maybe. But apart from that, there's nothing. Okay, so you need this one, so the basic business function for this routing, making it possible for XStep routings.
Okay.
And you might consider to use these two as well. So the first one here is an enhancement for regulated industries, and I believe you are also part of regulated industries.
Yes, we are. Yes,
so that includes an approval process with signatures for standard XSteps, where you need a signature if you want to release a standard XStep in the repository, for example. You have a where use list inside there, so that's not only maybe relevant for regulated industries, because a where use list in the repository is really very helpful. So I recommend that one here.
Oh, definitely.
This one here. And also, this one might be also interesting. These are the miscellaneous enhancements here in HP3. And one of those is basically also covering. This is also covering the things I just showed with the discarding of PI sheets from the process order. And I haven't checked actually whether we see the same in the production order, but I would say so, because it's the same. Also the XStep area in the production order should also offer you this discard function. Okay. Apart from that, what additional configuration need to be to activate these? So I would say basically nothing more. I think. Of course, settings for PI process management should be there, because PI sheet and EWI, they use the make up their instructions, and these characteristics must, of course, exist, and the groups must be released for PPPI and for this. So I can show you if you want.
No, and the reason I'm saying no is because we are pursuing developing PPPI for our pharmaceutical division or products, but for the medical device side of the business, we think that PP with EWI is the best way to proceed.
Yes, but again, these settings are plant dependent. Yeah, so you need to do that as well for the plants where you use PP.
That's correct. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Maybe just a brief look here, just let you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about process management, process actions, characteristics, and here you define the characteristic groups for process instructions. Here.
Okay.
This one here, and you need to release these for certain plants. So here you see for plant you need to release, and these are the normal standard ones. So these are the groups, the characteristic groups that you would normally use, and these should be definitely there. Yes.
Okay.
I had some occasions where let me see that. Where I found that at some customers' systems this namespace for XSteps was not, the standard namespace was not here in the released namespaces.
Okay.
That's maybe it's just resolved from support package or node, but you can check anyway. So it's the CMX 04 transaction, and here you can also add additional namespaces if you do body implementations for generation scopes and valuation symbols.
Okay.
And that one, the standard namespace must also be there. So that's one of the things. But apart from that, I think nothing is needed. Okay?
Okay.
So the next question there was where can we obtain educational material? First of all, online documentation on XSteps. Of course, it's located on the PPPI. Process management XSteps is fairly well documented there. So you should really have a look first there. I know sometimes they're good, but in this case, I really like that documentation. Yeah, XStepCafe, of course.
Hopefully, we're going to be regular attendees.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, please have a look at the recordings, because I have covered a lot of stuff already in some of these sessions.
Okay. Sometimes the recording title does not give you the flavor of what's in it. Everything is in it. So, are you recommending to go through each of the XSteps? The sessions that you already had?
Well, actually, hold on. I'll open this invitation. You think that this is not sufficient here?
An example would be style sheets. Is there other discussions besides the style sheets embedded in that?
Yes, it could be. I mean, I always tend to mention here what the major topics were. So I don't really name all the things. So yeah, if you leave some things out, you might miss something. But I mean, I repeat also sometimes. So and if you have questions, you can always ask. Even if I've already covered it, I don't mind.
No problem. What we'll do is we'll go through each one of them this way. We'll know.
So I definitely recommend the introduction, commands and events, and basically the first four are really recommended. Style sheets I would recommend as well, although the sound is very bad because a lot of people didn't mute their phones, and so it's really bad.
Okay.
That one also is very recommendable. And after that, so it gets more special, right? So So these I would really recommend.
I did go through the weighing scenario in details. and I recommended our IT department to go into and look at the capabilities that are available through XSteps for the weighing. So, but I did not go through the rest of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. So, and yeah, learning by copying. I have another topic here. If you download the SXS library, for example, you have a lot of examples that we created there. So there you can just see how we have set things up, and then that's also a good way of learning how to do things. Of course.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you had asked the question of education classes. There's one that's called SCM372. This one.
Okay.
Please have a look at our online training catalog. Chances might be that there's no session available in your region, but I think there was one in the US recently. I'm not quite sure. However, if you feel the need for a quicker session or something, you can also contact education. I don't know whether there's a request form there. If not, you can also send me an email. However, you need to have a good amount of participants for that. If SAP will go for a specific customer education session.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
So that's this one.
And then
by learning how to use PI sheet, what additional information do we need to learn how to use EWIs? I mean, that's basically already covered in the first question, but if you know PI sheets, there's little to learn more. So you should be perfectly fine. There are only the specialities that come with the fact that you're using production orders. So that you have, for example, you can access documents and maybe other things that might be a little bit different. But apart from that, nothing different.
Okay.
So, and the last question is a very interesting one, of course. There's, of course, if you attend here the cafe, you can, whenever you find an interesting discussion point from somebody else, you can hook in and ask that person and ask for contact, for example, and if you want, I can also arrange this. Send me an email and send it to that person so that I can make you connected.
Okay.
That's of course possible. I did this several times also here in this XStepCafe already.
Excellent. Okay.
There's also a forum in the SDN. It's under SCMPP. So that's of course a very wide range of topics in PP. So it's not only XSteps and PI sheets, but all the stuff, all other stuff which is PP or PPPR related. Yeah. So it might be a little bit cumbersome to really find interesting discussion points there.
Yeah, our SAP, I guess, conduit between BD and SAP did mention this SDN to me yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to look into it.
Yeah. I still have something on my agenda, which is maybe to create an off-spin which is dedicated to PI sheet and XSteps specifically, which is a good idea from the feedback I had. But they need somebody to manage it, and I fear that should be me then, and I don't know whether I have the time for doing that. So I have that on my plate, but. Well.
Okay. No, I very much appreciate the time that you took to respond to this email, and I'm hoping once the response comes back to me through our firewalls and networks and all the scanning that has to go through, I will look at the information and with the production execution team, just kind of look at this information, review them, and see what we can learn, and hopefully at the next session we can share some of our learnings, or if somebody has some questions.
Yeah, that's highly appreciated. If you want to share something, even if it's not really a perfect solution or a perfectly running solution, if you have made a prototype that you want to show, you're perfectly welcome. But one thing you need to keep in mind, we need to establish the connection beforehand, because you need to download a small applets from Adobe, so that you can share your desktop in this collaboration screen.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we can arrange that. So it's not something you can do really ad hoc.
Yeah, that's okay. I think when we get to that level, we'll definitely make the connection way before the cafe.
All right. So I'd like to ask the others, because now we have talked a lot about your questions. Maybe somebody else has some pressing questions.
Yep. Once more, thank you very much, Arnie.
Yes, sure. You're most welcome. So you're Riyadh, correct?
Yes.
You were the one who sent me the mail. Okay.
Yes, I.
Okay. So anybody else who has something?
Arne, this is Raghu.
Yes.
I have a question regarding the scope of generation with filter.
Mm-hmm.
In the RISE-UP, we're planning to build a RISE-UP to build a scope of generation, and there are a lot of scenarios on that. For example, if you want to generate for all reservation items with including or excluding backflush item and batch managed stuff, and filtering with some other like sort string and everything, it's going to be a different data category in the scope of generation, right? Each kind of scenarios is going to be a separate scope of generation program within that body, right?
Yes. There's something which is maybe interesting here as well. Do you have that guide here, that body guide?
Oh, where is that?
That's from SDN as well. You can find it also in SDN.
Okay.
Maybe I can. That's located now in this XStepCafe area here. Do you have that PDF?
Excuse me.
Raghu, do you have that PDF which I created on how to generate?
Yes. I have that period. I'm just using that as a starting point. Yeah, that's very, very good document.
Okay, so and there I have also this small example with the filter you can provide to that generation scope. And of course you need, if you have multiple filter criteria, you need to specifically design that generation scope in a way that you use different parameters in your XSteps. You evaluate them, and then you need to use these values from the parameters as filter criteria for your generation. That's the way I did it, and of course you also can do really one generation scope for that criteria, and one generation scope for that criteria, like fixed ones. Yeah, of course that's also possible. Yes. And
my plan is develop RISE-UP for the scope of generation with a short string. That is, you can give the fixed values instead of the simple valuation. We can also give the fixed value for the parameters, right?
Yes,
using it, but it's going to be
I'll show maybe some example, just that we know what we're talking about.
Is there any way to access your system for such display mode?
No. No, that's not possible. So let's. It takes some time to compile here in the system always. So not so much time. Okay. Yeah, it's compiling. Sorry for that. I'm not sure whether I have. Let's have a look here. Whether I have something as well here.
I may have another question in the technical perspective. But in functionality perspective, we can combine 4 or 5 scope of generation for the particular manufacturing site in one rise-up object for the development. But for the technical standpoint, they are going to develop 4 different programs in the background, right?
Okay.
So, what is your advice? Everything is going to be in one rise-up object, or
I didn't get the rise-up object. What
is that is called the development objects.
Okay.
For this is going for the technical people to development based on the functional requirement. Is that? But here's a possibility: you can combine 4, 5 scope of generation and one object to give the development.
Yes, that's
right.
possible. Maybe I'll show you here in 80. Hope that I catch it quickly. So that's rather technical. I hope the others don't mind here. I'm not sure. It's not. No, it should be that one, I think. Class library, yes, yeah, classes. This is the generation part. Methods, get data. So that's. And here you see it starts here with data declaration. That's the part where I evaluate that the parameter for the filter criteria. And then I do the following thing. In this case, I'm using a predefined standard generation scope here, like the materialization one. And then I'm depending on this. Hold on. Here, I have different types of generation scopes here as well. So these are different generation scopes, which I cover with one file. I think that was your question.
Yes.
Yeah? So it makes sense if you combine this for similar objects. For example, in this case, I have this body implemented for all sort of reservation item relevant generations. So everything that has something to do with materials components. Because I can easily, first get all reservations, and then I can, apply my different filters depending on which specific generation scope I use here. So that's maybe a best practice tip I can give you. Was that clear?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Anybody else has questions on this? Okay. Okay, maybe this is now finished. So, just as an example here.
And one more question: if we can give the parameter value as a fixer from input value, and it will be used as a filter inside the program.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. If I give the input,
I will just show it. If you wait a few seconds more.
Okay.
So this is, for example, the component here. So I've got here parameters, and I've got one parameter which is called FLT sort F. FLT. It's best also for the others. It's a good idea to have prefixes which indicate what type of parameter you have here. So I've used FLT for filter, and I've evaluated here with way star. So it's also using a wildcard here. Okay. And that's the generation scope I use. So double click on here. You see that is one of the own in this IDIS namespace here. And if I'm looking here at this implementation, you see that it in this section here, it looks for that filter, for that parameter. And then it calls a certain method to get the value of the parameter, and that it stores it then in this variable. And this LSort, if it's initial, I set it to the wildcard star so that I catch all. And then later on, then here in this section I do this generic, this standard generation here, and then I cycle through through the generation list here. So in this part from here on, and then I get the data. I get the source string here from that from the respd. Yeah, so that's for the current item here. I get this value, and now I'm asking, okay, is this source string not the pattern of LSort? And if this is the case, I delete this entry. So I just ignore that for my generation scope. Yeah? So that's in my case here. That's what I do in any case. So I'm always applying this filter, and after that I'm doing some other things, and that's always depending from the specific generation scope. Was it clear?
Yes, and if you give the value as a fixed value, it's a restricted characteristics, right? Then you do the input.
It's a fixed value here. So again here,
if you want to give,
here, it's fixed value. Huh?
In this area, if you want to give 10 values or the range of values.
Yes, I remember our email conversation. That is, of course, it's not possible to have a parameter, for example, that you would define as a tabular parameter. It would not help because you cannot fixedly enter the values for a tabular parameter. So that's not possible. So you could, and that was one of my answers, you could do a string with several values, separated by commas or something, and then you just, in the coding, you just separate these. So that of course is only valid for a small number of multiple parameters. Yeah?
Okay.
Or you can use multiple parameters. Yeah? FLT sort F1 to 10, and then you... if it's initial, you just ignore that one. Of course, that is might be a long list. I don't know, but that's all I can offer you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. But in the inside the program, we can use one program for include the value. The other program we can use it for exclude the value. Then you can have a separate scope of generation for two scenarios, right?
Sure, yeah.
If you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can combine this, yes, of course. Any other question?
And Arne?
Yes.
I have another question. In the world characteristics PI process instruction creation, we use the filter in O10C. That has some separate program starting with RV0 or something.
Yeah. This is not available anymore. So because you don't use process instructions here. So you don't have that.
Is there any advantage if I reference that program to the technical people to develop here in the filter program? Is there any way that advantage to do that?
I wouldn't say so, because this the body implementation here uses a lot of ABAP object methods.
Okay.
So you really should use. You rather should have a look at the standard implementations.
Okay.
However, I cannot really now point the way to it, but I mean, your technical people might find it easily. It's in the package CMX something maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Package CMX? No, it does not
Yeah.
So
Basically, here we are developing the functional specification based on that filter. In that filter, we can use a stock item. There are predefined filter characteristics available in that filter. So we are developing the functionals based on that filter and the O10C, the stock item, no batch assigned, and the same things we are planning to implement in that program, the BADI.
That's what you have to do. Yeah. So we don't deliver that standard filter that you're used to in O10C. That's not delivered as a standard for XSteps. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Time's nearly up. Is anybody for a quick question interested? If not, if you don't mind, please rate the session here on the lower left side of the screen. And if somebody has a more complex question for the future, this is definitely something you need to send me up front in an email, and if I have time, I can try to come up with an example and a small demo. Because so for example, the body stuff is really tough to really answer ad hoc if it's very specific. Or for example, if you have a question on style sheets, that's also something which is really hard to answer from in an ad hoc mode. So
Arne?
For the future.
Arne?
Yes?
I have a couple of questions. And one is for process parameter characteristics, when you build in the XStep's, those are sending to external system. When you assign the characteristics for the process message, the system in background is going to, it will check that characteristics available for the process message or not, right?
I didn't get it correctly. Please try again.
In the XStep's, when you generate the process parameter instruction type, this is for the information of the display purpose. All values will be symbol evaluated, all characteristics values. Then we assign the process message. No, here is everything symbol evaluated. I'm talking about another one, the data request or the message subscription. We attach process message with that instruction, right? For example, PI cons or PI prod. When you add the characteristics to the instruction, it will go and check that characteristics is available in PI cons, right, in the background. I'm sorry.
I'm still not quite sure what your maybe you should send me some screenshots or something like that, and I'll have a look. What you mean. Is that okay for you? Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I can send a screenshot, and I have one more question. Another one is the product, the process data request. The other one is message subscription.
And we're always talking about external system right now.
Yes, external system.
Okay.
Yes. In the type, if you put the type number 2 or type 3, is it really matters in the XStep generation if you put 2 instead of 3?
I think it says that it's only valid for 2. But I'm not quite sure why that is the case.
One is the process parameter, the other one is data request, the other one is...
I thought you mean the destination type. Okay.
Yeah, not a destination type. That is 2, right? The download to external system. Yes. Here is...
I'm not quite sure. Let's have a look. Hold on. I have some stuff here. I think PCS examples. Yes. Let's have a look at these. So you mean these are the usual instructions, yes?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And your question is whether it makes a difference if I say 1 or 2 in the...
2 or 3 inside. Can you open up a new one?
Yeah, so like here.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, here, the previous general tab.
So that's the 1, and then I've got a 2.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether the external system really evaluates that. So
here, the previous, the general tab.
Pardon?
In the general, the first tab, the small one. The general, yeah. That one you say the 2 process data records.
Mm-hmm.
If you put instead of 2, if you put 3, is that really matters?
It's what it does, and that's I think the only reaction or action that the system does is it passes that parameter also via the PIPCS interface.
Okay.
So in the structure you get there, you see that type.
Okay.
So whatever that external system is doing with that type is up to that external system, of course. So if that type is just not looked at, then I probably don't see any difference here.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. The next one, can you go to the characteristics tab?
Mm-hmm.
Characteristic tab, the next tab. Here you see the not assigned to the when I generate the assigned to the value. Sometimes it's coming like this. So the PPPA even date is not assigned to the category. Why is that? The same error message.
Well, this one looks like it is just if I'm adding this instruction category, it fills up the characteristics here. But I had to do them manually, all right. So all these lines here I created manually.
Okay.
So there's no assistant which you enter that instruction category and then it fills this characteristics. No, you have to do it manually. But the good thing is you don't have to do it a lot of times because there are not many different standard ones.
And my previous question is... Hello?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah. My previous question is here you see the process message category DP read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you create this requested values for PPPA event date, PPPA event time, the system in background, whether it's checking these characteristics are available in DP read.
Was that a statement or a question?
This is the question, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The PPPA event time, event date, and PPPA data point, these are whether these characteristics are available in the DP read message category or not.
I'm not sure whether this is checked.
Okay.
I don't know basically.
Because here is the error message. You can see the characteristics PPP event date is not assigned to the message category. This kind of error message when I create the instructions, this kind of error message is coming. Sometimes not.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. Sorry, I cannot help you here. A lot of.
No problem. I can send a mail.
Okay. Okay. So time's up. So I think we should stop this meeting now. And thanks for listening and watching. And till next time.
Thank you very much, Arnie.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Arnie, thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Bye.